Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. How's everyone doing? Let me find my chat here. Hey, Clancy, Blue West, beautiful profile picture. Lisa, Never Lose Hope, TC. Scroll on down. Little Kelly, good to see you. Keisha, Sherlyn, Mike, good morning. Mandy Hall, Sapphire. Good morning, everyone. How are y'all doing? I'm still sick. I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I think I can hear it in my voice. I hope I don't start coughing because I didn't bring cough drops back here. And I'm still smoking. I got to quit smoking. Hey, Cindy. Good to see you. How are you? So I have us a few things to talk about this morning. I was going to tell y'all something and I forgot what it was. Oh, yeah, Saturday's my birthday, and I'm going to try to do a live stream Saturday night. Have some fun. I'm not sure what we'll do yet. Stacy's still sick, getting better. Well, I thought I was getting better, and my coughs got worse, and it got worse after I started using that Vicks rub on my chest. I hadn't seen my daggone animals, my little goat and my chickens, all weekend. So this morning I went and let them out myself because I was missing them. I'd say I'll be even sicker because I had took a shower before I went. Well, an hour or two before I went. But I couldn't help it. I needed to see them. I missed Annabelle so much. I feel so sorry for her because she's just having to stay in her shed because it just keeps snowing and snowing. It snowed more last night. Anyways, this morning we're going to talk about the West brothers. We're going to talk about that neighbor's interview that AV Watchman did on his channel. Also, we're going to talk about a missing mom from Texas. It's a strange case. She goes shopping. She drops her boyfriend off at work, goes shopping, vanishes. Baby's found in the car. Yeah. Also, Phil Spector passed away. He was 81 years old. But I know what it was I wanted to tell y'all. I got some awesome news. A judge has ordered that Jeff Lowe surrender all of his tiger cubs that are up to 1 year old and their mothers. And I don't reckon his little woman, Lauren, is going to be able to own any exotic animals either. Said last night, U.S. District Court Judge F. Howell III, based in the Eastern District of Oklahoma, issued a devastating judgment in favor of the United States against exotic animal exhibitor and dealer Jeff Lowe. It says the United States this summer initiated a series of legal actions against Jeff for his failure to comply with the Endangered Species Act and the Animal Welfare Act. In granting the motion from the United States for a preliminary injunction and a separate motion for a temporary restraining order, Judge Howell decided that Jeff must relinquish all of his tiger cubs up to a year in age and their mothers to the United States for subsequent placement at reputable sanctuaries and shall immediately cease exhibiting animals protected by the Endangered Species Act and the Animal Welfare Act without a valid USDA exhibitor's license. And he will never be able to get another animal exhibiting license or a permit to exhibit animals at a zoo. This is the best news ever. And they went on to say, what all their investigation at Jeff Lowe's Zoo found. And there was cats that were not fed properly. They were underweight. He didn't get them veterinary care when they were sick or injured. And a few of them even died because he didn't take care of them properly. The judge said that he never needed to own animals again. He didn't just say big cats, he said animals. And I agree. This is the best news ever. This made my morning. Do you think Trump will pardon Joe Exotic? No, I don't think he will. I hope that he does, but I don't think he will. Thank you, Sapphire, for sharing that link, because I was actually going to put that in my description this morning and I forgot. I've just got the rooster mug in that description. Anyways, Jeff Lowe is out of business. Now, I'm not sure if he can appeal this or not. Maybe, but I hope not. It won't get him anywhere because of the evidence that they have against him, such as sick and injured tigers. Crap, they took I don't know how many from his zoo. He don't need to own a rabbit. He don't need to own anything because he won't take care of it properly. He's not an animal lover. He's someone that likes animals because he can profit off of them. It's what it is. Okay. I'm so glad Never Lose Hope sent me that this morning about him, or I would have missed it. And that made my morning, knowing that he's going to have to give up all of his tiger cubs and their mothers. And they will go to nice sanctuaries. That Lions, Tigers, and Bears Sanctuary in California, that's a nice place. I hope some of them can go there. Also, Phil Spector died, 81 years old. He died from COVID-19. Hey, Vicki. Good morning. Hey, Cement Shoes. Tell Melissa good morning. So, yeah, Phil Spector died. Now, Phil Spector was sentenced to 19 years in prison in 2019 for murdering Lana Clarkson. He murdered her February, I have wrote down February 3rd, 2003. She worked at the House of Blues as a hostess. She was a struggling actress. And somehow, after a night of drinking, she ended up at Phil Spector's home. And he shot her in the freaking mouth. I didn't know he shot her in the mouth until this morning. Now, his chauffeur testified that he was parked behind the house and he heard a gunshot. And Phil Spector came out holding a gun. And it's like, I think I've killed someone. Now, Phil Spector, I guess he was a big-time music producer. He worked with John Lennon, Ike and Tina, the Righteous Brothers, and the Beach Boys. He was just a plain weirdo, Vicky. I didn't follow his court case closely, but I do remember seeing on the news he would come in all these crazy get-ups. These crazy wigs that just looked horrible. I mean, he looked hideous. Yeah, he's a weirdo. If there was a list, the top weirdos in the world, he'd be right up there on the top somewhere. Anyways, when cops were called to the house, they found Lana in the foyer in a chair. And she had been shot in the mouth. What in the world did he do? Stick the gun in her mouth and fire? Now, his defense team tried to claim that she was depressed, she was a struggling actress, and she committed suicide. Oh, yeah, she's going to choose to go home with Phil Spector after a night of partying and commit suicide at his house. That don't even make no freaking sense. That weirdo killed her. She did not commit suicide. Anyways, he's dead at 81 years old. You know, he's got 4 kids. He's got an adopted son, and then he's got a set of twins that he adopted, and then he's got 2 more kids. Yeah. See, so you need to make something next that says weirdos. I need to figure out how you can put like little sayings on the backs of the coffee mugs. I noticed Save Robbie had some merch from Teespring, and he had stuff on the back of his mugs. I couldn't do it the other day. It wouldn't let me. Anyways, yeah. I hate when people die, you know. I don't wish death on it. No, baby. He was a complete weirdo, Phil Spector. Okay. What else? Oh, yeah. The missing lady from Texas. Let me get my notes. I cannot see in this bedroom. I got so many sets of notes here from this morning. Oh, there's the weirdo notes. Okay. So her name is Laura Reed. She's 34 years old. I think her friends and family call her Lacey, though. Let me get her picture pulled up here. She's beautiful. She's from Houston, Texas. Saturday, she dropped her boyfriend off at work, and then her and her little baby, I guess, decided to go to a shopping center, and she vanished. The baby was found in the vehicle. I guess someone noticed the baby in the car alone and called the cops. They got there, ran the tags, all this and that. They figured out, hey, this lady's missing. I know this is crap. I knew it was going to play a video. Damn it, pause. Oh my gosh. One of these days, I'm going to throw this damn laptop out the window. Okay. That one is not wanting to show. Well, I'm just going to screen share it. We can listen to the video. Well, crap. You shared the wrong thing. Okay, here we go.
This morning, a woman's family is pleading for help to find her.
She's
Laura Lacey
beautiful.
Reed's car was found in Montrose over the weekend with only her child inside. Later this morning, crews will be back out to search for her. Our Janelle Ford is live at the search scene with more on the message from her family.
Steph, in just under 3 hours, volunteers with Texas EquiSearch will be back out here looking for any signs of the 34-year-old mom. Police found Reed's car abandoned around 8 p.m. Saturday night. It was parked over near this Dollar Tree. They found her baby boy still inside, but mom was nowhere to be found. Reed's parents are hundreds of miles away in Utah. We spoke with them yesterday, and they're begging anyone with any information to please come forward. Parents shared this selfie of Reed and her son with us. They say she sent it to them about 30 minutes before police found her abandoned car. Mom and dad say there's no way she would have left her son behind. So understandably, they're worried that something happened.
I had a nice chat with my daughter last night. I think right before it happened. I don't know for sure. The conversation just kind of ended at a weird spot. I assume maybe they were eating and she was going to get back to me in 10 minutes or something, but then I never heard anything back.
Tim Miller with Texas EquiSearch says there's no surveillance cameras in this parking lot, and they too are fearing the worst as each hour goes by. Search crews panned out across the Montrose area for hours yesterday. He says so far his group has searched construction sites, checked inside dumpsters, and put out flyers, hoping it'll lead them to Reed. In the meantime, if you know or saw anything, contact police. Back to you.
It sounds like to me that someone abducted her. Let me plug my mic back up so I won't robot. Okay. Beautiful young lady. I wonder if they have checked to see if her boyfriend was really at work. I'm sure they have. They need to check his alibi first. That shouldn't be too hard to do. I think I heard in another video this morning that there wasn't any surveillance cameras in the parking lot. It's kind of weird. Most shopping centers do have surveillance. I'm trying to think of at my shopping center where the Dollar Tree is. There may be some cameras in the Dollar Tree, but I don't think there's any in the parking lot. Sounds like someone abducted her. I hope and pray that they find her safe and sound. Tim Miller's on the case. If anyone can find her, he can. I think actually his daughter, he's the one that runs like the Texas EquiSearch. I think his daughter went missing. And I'm trying to think, I'm pretty sure they found her. But it took a while, I think. I need to research that story. Let me see if I can pull up a better picture of that girl. And she likes to be, I read this morning that she likes to be called Lacey. Every time I click on an article, it plays the search something. It's the same video we just listened to. She's like really pretty. So she was talking on the phone with her dad. She had sent her dad a selfie. Isn't that what he said? And then the phone went dead. And he thought that she would call him back. But she never did. That's suspicious right there, isn't it? Maybe she was talking on the phone with her dad. Maybe she was parked in that parking lot and somebody came up and grabbed her. Maybe she had a stalker she didn't know about. Or she just so happened to be pulled in and there was some kind of predator around. Something strange happened. Let me see if this, I don't think this says anything. Just as she went shopping at West Gray Street Shopping Center. Search volunteers discovered her baby in the car alone. The baby was found in the vehicle, and when they ran the tag number and found out who it was, they realized that we got a mother that's missing, Tim Miller with Texas EquiSearch said, according to ABC 13. They said the baby is less than a year old. The infant is now safe and was found uninjured. It's with family members. The mother wouldn't leave her child in that car alone. That's what one of the sheriff's officers said. She is 5 feet, 10 inches tall and weighs 130 pounds. She's tall and skinny. I wish I was taller. She is beautiful. We're going to keep following this, and I hope they find her. If someone did kidnap her, it don't mean that she's dead. Look at the Jamie Kloss case. Could be holding her captive somewhere. Somebody definitely nabbed her. I mean, is it possible that she just left her baby in the car and walked away? Anything's possible, but I don't think that happened at all. There's nothing to indicate that she would do something like that. I think foul play is involved. Well, I think the baby, I'm assuming hey, Miss Jones, the baby's father is probably the boyfriend. She dropped her boyfriend off at work Saturday. She was last seen around, what did it say, 7, 8 p.m.? I'm just wondering if they have checked to see if he was at work. Happened in the evening time around 7, 8 p.m. Hey, someone could have nabbed her to take and sell into that sex trafficking. Anything's possible. Or she just was at the wrong place at the wrong time when some predator was around. Sad times we're living in. It ain't even safe to go shopping alone. There's a lot of things that happen in Houston. You know who she reminds me of? Alexis Sharkey. She kind of looks like her, I think. I don't think they ever released Alexis Sharkey's cause of death. I need to check in on that case. Actually. Anyways, we'll keep following this. Prayers for her family. Thank God the baby was okay and uninjured and is safe with family members. I bet her parents feel so helpless because they're all the way in Utah. They live in Utah. I think that is someone could have used a stun gun. I think it's strange. She was talking to her dad and then all of a sudden, you know, he can't get back a hold of her or the phone goes dead. People are psychos. Yesterday on the ID channel, I was watching about this serial killer that kept women in his basement. And he was trying to create the perfect race. He wanted to impregnate these women. He kept them chained up in the basement and would feed them dog food. One of the girls he killed, and actually he chopped her body up and cooked her up and made the other girls eat her. Yes, I need to do a live stream on this case. I can't think of the guy's name because I've been sick and I was laying around on the couch half asleep. But yeah, people are nuts. So now let's talk about the West brothers. A.V. Watchman, finally, he put up that video of interviewing a lady at the Casa Loma Apartments. I think I'm saying that right. And she basically had the same thing to say as most of the people he's talked to. The family kept themselves isolated. She had a few more things to say. Now, I can explain to y'all. I've got wrote down what she was saying, or we can take a quick look. Let's just take a quick listen at this video. Because she was saying basically that her son, her two boys, used to play with these other two foster kids that the West family had, two little Hispanic boys. Now, the West family gave those kids back to foster care for some reason, but those little boys would sneak out of the apartment to play, and they would tell the neighbor's kids that Trezell was mean to them. They told him not to knock on their apartment door, to always come to the window and knock on the window because, you know, Trezell wouldn't let them out anyways, and he was mean to them. Now, they didn't say how he was mean to them. They really didn't want to talk about their home life. That's what this lady's son was saying. And she said she didn't ask the little boys any questions. Now, me, being nosy, oh, hell yeah, I'd have been asking questions. But, you know, some people just don't want to get involved. You know, I can understand that to a certain point. But me, I would have been asking questions because, hey, if you see something, say something. Also, he interviewed another guy that lived at the apartment, and he said that when Trezell and them lived there, that Trezell would go out of his way to avoid contact with the neighbors. If he saw the neighbors, he'd go the other way and parked at the back. And it was also said that they never saw Trezell and Jacqueline together. But then I got to thinking, is that really so weird? Because I guess people see Mark all the time and they don't see me out with them because usually I'm at home with the dogs. Let me see if I can pull this up. We'll just listen to a little bit of it. I don't really like playing other people's videos, and I've played quite a few of his lately. It just makes me feel some type of way. Hold on. We'll just listen to a little bit. Now, what she says is her car got broken into. This neighbor's car got broken into September 23rd. The adoptive grandmother lives there at the apartments, right? She has cameras. So she went and knocked, I guess, on that lady's door, and she actually saw Orinn and Orson. And that was on the 23rd. Let me just play this, so. Let me get the ad through. Oh, yeah, I might want to screen share.
So, okay, go ahead.
The exact date was September 23rd. She had cameras at her door, on her window. So I had an incident where we thought someone broke into my vehicle and cut my wires. So I went in knocked to her door and I let her know, because she showed me the cameras. And she told me the cameras wouldn't reach that far. They were just facing towards her 3 vehicles.
Hold on, guys. I did something. Sorry, guys. I did something. Let's go back.
Here's that video now, guys. That's it. All right, let's get to it. Guys, so we're here with someone who actually has some information. I'm going to go ahead and just let her tell you what she knows and what she has, and we're not going to put her on video. So, okay, go ahead.
The exact date was September 23rd. She had cameras at her door, on her window. So I had an incident where we thought someone broke into my vehicle and cut my wires. So I went knocked to her door and I let her know, because she showed me the cameras. And she told me the cameras wouldn't reach that far. They were just facing towards her 3 vehicles that are there in the parking lot. So I explained to her what had happened. And when she had told me the same thing had happened to her, that they tried to steal one of the vehicles, she walked out. And when she walked out, the little boy, the smaller one, walked out right behind her. She didn't notice until we kept walking and we walked towards the parkway. And then the other little boy came out. And then that's when she's like, órale, pa dentro, pa dentro, pa dentro. And then she's like, oh, son bien tremendos y salen solos. And that's when she said that they were the kids of her daughter. So I didn't.
Who are we talking about? Who are we talking about? The adopted mom?
Well, it would be the adopted grandmother, right?
The grandmother, okay.
The adopted grandmother.
Okay, so you were checking her camera.
Yeah, I was asking if I can check her camera, or she could check it to see if she's seen anything. But
right.
So that's when I seen them, and that was September 23rd. And I know exact the same day because I went back through my messages to see who was it that I sent the videos to of when they broke into my vehicle.
Right.
So I know for sure that I did see them, and it was for sure September 23rd.
Okay. And what you were saying something else about that? You seen them there recently, or?
I seen them recently, and I've seen them numerous times, and they're with her at the same apartment.
Oh, okay. So the APs, they're staying at those apartments, and I remember you were saying something about that. Your son used to play with
my 2 oldest used to play with 2 of the boys they had. I know they don't have them anymore, and I know that because I heard it from the adopted grandmother. I had told her. The thing is that everyone there knows everyone. So she was outside of my door, gathered around with my neighbor. And I had told her, oh, you're the adopted parents of the little boys, the Mexican boys. And she's like, oh, no, chamacos mendigos traviesos que fuman marihuana. And I was like, ¿qué? She's like, sí, mendigos. And I was like, pero tienen la edad de mis boys, que viene siendo 10, 11. She's like, sí, los vaguitos que siempre andaban aquí afuera, se le salían a mi hija. And I'm like, ¿a poco they would smoke? She's like, yeah, that they were very bad, so they turned them back into
the oldest boys.
Yes, they had turned them back in, and that they didn't want nothing to do with those kids anymore.
So those were foster kids?
Those were foster kids, and those foster kids, I talked to them directly because they used to come out of their house and they used to go knocking on my door. I don't let my boys come out at all.
Right.
Anyone that wants to come over, you could come over and play here. Or if you guys are going to be outside, I'm going to be right with you. So I remember telling them, like, oh, are you sure your dad and your mom knows you're here? Because the same, I know I wouldn't let my kids be anywhere else. So I said, you guys could come in, but are you guys sure your parents know? And he was like, oh, no. That he didn't have his parents. I was like, who do you guys live with? And that's whenever the boys had told me, they're here with their adopted parents. So when they ended up leaving, I asked my boys, like, why are they here? What's going on? So then I guess the little boys, they were brothers, Mexicans. They were around the age of 10 and 11. And they said that they were there because they got taken away from their parents. But that I guess his mom had robbed at a store, but apparently he said that it wasn't his mom's fault, that she didn't actually rob, so they took him away. And they were there with them for a while. I know they were there with them for more than a year because I always used to see those little boys. But it was when they used to sneak out. They would sneak out and then they would go and knock on my door to play with my boys. And when my boys, I would tell them, like, you guys can go out. They would go and they would knock on the door and the guy wouldn't open it for them and wouldn't let them come out. So they would always.
Now she's talking about the two other little boys that they used to take care of.
Please don't knock on your door. He's very mean. We'll get in trouble. So they used to
talk about the APs.
Yes, you guys used to talk to them through the window, right? Yeah, they used to talk to them through the window and let them know, like, what time they were going to come out or when they were going to come out. But from what my understandings, they always said he was very mean. And when I would see him, because he lives on the other side, but he would go to the back.
Yeah, that's what someone else does too.
That's where I park. But it was never that I seen him with his wife. Never did I see him carry any kids. It was always him. He used to get in his big van and take off. Come back, get in the van and go. I never once seen him with any type of kids, ever. Not even when school was still in session, before the coronavirus, any of that. No, he never had.
So way before the.
Yeah, right. Before, don't let your kids out, none of that. Yeah, he had them already stuck in the home.
So the kids were already stuck in the house before the pandemic.
And all this wasn't even happening. So this was way before all this. That's whenever my kids used to play with them.
Did he ever come looking for the kids when they?
He never once came looking for the kids. Like, they were there just for a little bit and take off. I used to always tell them, are you guys hungry? Do you guys want to eat this? Oh, we gotta go. So they would take off. I think they ate there once.
They would sneak out when he was home, or?
I didn't ask him. I never asked him, like, when you guys would, like, I never really spoke to them and let them know, like, oh, is he mean? What does he do? No, I never did that. I just knew they would go and play with my boys or play out in the.
What is Ruggable? Ruggable is a two-piece.
Dispute that.
Well, you wouldn't think that kind
yeah,
of
thing. I didn't never went down to that, like, right. Oh, is he like this?
Yeah,
no,
what's going on over there?
Yeah, I never would tell them that. Right. But I did know that when they would sneak out, they would go in the back area and they used to always play with sticks, because that's when my boys would go out there and play with them with sticks as well. So they would sit out there and run around in there, and then they'll go back in.
How do you feel about him knowing that they're living there right now? How do you feel about them staying there?
It's annoying and it's frustrating knowing that I can't let my kids out. Like, my kids are like, oh, he's going to come and do something to us. Like, I can't let them, even if.
So Jacqueline and Trezell must be staying at the grandmother's apartment.
I'm right there. Like, I can't let them go take out trash barrel because he took out trash. My husband was loading stuff in and out of the car, and he was right there. So I told my son, grab the trash, go throw it out. Dad's out there, your brothers are out there. And as soon as my son went to go throw out trash, he was walking right by, going to the trash can, throwing out trash as well. So my son.
Seems like the community think that they're guilty.
And literally ran into at the trash barrel.
So the apartments were
it's nice apartment.
You live behind that, or is it another unit?
I live in a different unit.
Oh,
but it's right there. You could see. You could see everything.
Gotcha. You haven't seen any kids recently over there?
I haven't seen no kids at all. And I used to see the grandmother has adopted kids as well. Well, technically they're not adopted anymore. She legally has custody of them.
Right.
She actually changed her name and all that because.
So the adoptive grandmother has kids that she adopted as well. And she changed their names too. And she had a party when, the adoption was finalized and their names was changed. And she actually invited this lady that's being interviewed here in this video.
Right.
She invited me to that little party that she was having for them. And she invited me that she was having a little celebration, knowing that they were fully hers and she was changing their name and everything.
The smaller ones.
Yes. If I'm not mistaken, it was
What's up with adopting these kids and changing their birth names? That's so weird.
a little girl and a little boy, which is the grandmother. That's who they were adopted. And she had another one. She had another.
Oh, yeah.
She had another adopted.
Does she have long hair?
Yeah. She had another daughter that was adopted as well. If I'm not mistaken, she is mixed with black. She's Hispanic and black, I believe.
So she got
And her
3
as
adopted
well.
kids.
I never seen her out. I never seen her around anywhere. I would see her mostly throwing out the trash. And she's older. She's like 11 or 12. The other kids that she has, I would see them all the time out there, all the time with the grandmother.
Look at that park. Look at that nice park, and the kids never came out to play. And this adopted grandmother, it looks like she's got 3 kids that are adopted, and you never see them out playing either.
Even before the whole COVID thing happened, you never seen like the kids playing at the playground or nothing, huh?
No, nice I never seen them walk by. Like in order to go to the playground, they have to walk by, or I used to see them walking through their side. I've never seen those kids, ever. The only time I ever did see them was, like I said, when I went knocking to her door to let her know. And it's not because she let them out; they came out. They opened the door. And
there's other kids out playing.
One of the other neighbors said that when they did run into them, which was real rare, that they would always keep their heads down and didn't talk to anybody. Did you ever?
They never talked to me either. Well, when I seen him, he never once said hello to me. He never once talked to me.
Some people don't want to get cozy with their neighbors, but this right here is red flags. Looks like they were avoiding people, probably because they were ashamed because they were abusing kids.
The times that I would see him was when he was not running, but he would walk through the back, get in his vehicle, come back and walk through the other way. I never seen him go this way. He always went through the back.
Yeah, that's what the neighbor told us. He wouldn't park in his spot. He would park on the back side.
And I know.
Yeah. How many kids do you remember seeing?
I think it was like three or four kids.
Did you ever see the boys that came missing?
We did, but it was usually, honestly, the interactions that they would have with people, it was always really quick. Like when we would be coming, they would either run out that way, or they would, like, if they were coming in, they would just come in hella fast and just go into their
avoiding contact.
Talk too much, you know.
So they would go this way?
Yeah, they had their parking spot right here, but I don't know why they would park back there. The guy used to drive like a big long white van, and
No, that wasn't his parking. I actually didn't know directly where he lived. I just knew he lived back there because the parking where he parked, he always parked and it was vacant. It's the last 3 that are vacant, and I've had to have parked there too. And I know that I used to park there right next to him or on the other side, but he always parked there. And all 3 of those last ones are vacant, and that's where he always parked.
Wow.
Until all this happened, then I knew directly, like, oh, that's where he lived.
Mm-hmm. What type of feelings do you have knowing that there's that type of trouble so close to you? You know,
it's scary. Like you never know if he can come out and do something else to some other kids. Like there's always kids out there, always.
Yeah, well, you gotta remember, it could be anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like it could be anyone and everyone. You don't know what happens behind closed doors in someone else's apartment, you know. But it's just scary knowing that you do know that he's there.
Yeah, I know everything is pointing towards that they could have done something to them. I'm just trying to figure out how come they haven't been arrested yet.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, why haven't they been arrested? Why hasn't something been going on? Like, why are they still allowed to stay there? That I do know he's covered up every time.
They weren't even supposed to be here. As a matter of fact, they were supposed to have been in some type of witness protection, like FBI or something like that. Supposed to be having them somewhere because of all the threats.
Well, he's there, and he's been there since more than a week.
You haven't seen her?
I seen her the same day I seen him. I seen her. Go down. Go. I seen her. I seen her get out of the vehicle, and I know it was her. She came out, and then he came out, and that's when I went out and I seen them both.
In the grandma's vehicle, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not their van. I have not seen their van there.
What kind of car does she drive?
I'm not good with cars.
So, from what I understand, that would be Jacqueline West's mom that lives there. That's what this lady said at the beginning of the video.
Just know it's like a 3-seater big vehicle.
SUV or van or like a suburban?
Like a suburban. Suburban. She has 3 vehicles.
3-seater. Okay.
That's basically all she says. Her son says a little bit, but he just says the same things. The 2 other little boys that used to live with the West family, they didn't say much. He just said that Trezell was mean to them and not to knock on the door, to always come to the window to talk to them. What do y'all think about all this? I think everybody that they talked to has said the same thing. They didn't see the kids much. Trezell avoided contact with the neighbors. I mean, he'd go out of his way to avoid contact. They never saw Trezell and Jacqueline together. They never saw Trezell carrying kids. I mean, of course, they could have a relationship like I do. Like Mark does all my errands for me. But something's just weird. To me, I think they kept themselves isolated and the kids isolated because they were mistreating the kids. That's what my opinion is. Crap, I closed out my YouTube. Now I can't see my live chat. Let me get that pulled back up. I'm wondering why they haven't arrested the parents either. They're still gathering evidence, or are they trying to find where the kids are first?
You never told me Grandpa wanted a Purple Heart.
Let me mute. My mouse is not working great. I think I need new batteries. I've left it on several times. Okay. Don't see how they can afford lawyers. Well, someone in that family put up a $30,000 reward. It probably didn't come from Trezell and Jacqueline. It probably came from other family members. They're supposed to have a family member that's high up in the NAACP. I think that's how you say it. I'm just wondering how come they've not gotten that family member to use their platform to get the word out about the boys. So I just Googled it, and in the state of California, you do receive a check for foster care plus medical assistance. I don't care if it carries over if you adopt. I'm not sure if it carries over if you adopt that child. Well, I was getting ready to say that. Like, what is the motive for them adopting these kids? We know when you just do foster care that you get money for that. I believe it was Cheryl T that came in the chat one day and said that you don't get a check if you adopt. So what would be their motive for wanting to adopt them? If it was for money, it looks like they would have been better off just to have done the foster care instead of adopting. His brother works for NAACP. Okay, I knew someone in that family did. Also here, Trezell is a musician. I'm not sure if that's true or not. Not that it matters. Does anyone know what he did for money? Besides this alleged music career. They still get a check if they adopt. We really need to find that out, guys. We really need to find out if they get any money after the adoption is finalized. I need to look that up and see. Let me make a note of that. Let me just look and see right now. So that's in California. Do you receive, how would I word it? Benefits for... Let me put California. Do you receive benefits for adopted kids in California? Okay, the California State Legislature created the Adoption Assistance Program with the intent to provide the security and stability of a permanent home through adoption. AAP eligible children may receive federally funded benefits or non-federally funded benefits per state guidelines. Okay, do adoptive parents get paid in California? Parents may be reimbursed up to $400 per child for eligible adoption expenses such as reasonable and necessary adoption fees, court costs, attorney fees, and other expenses directly related to the legal adoption of the child. After you adopt a child, there are medical assistant programs to help finance an adopted child's medical and mental health needs. There may also be current educational benefits, college tuition assistance, child care vouchers, subsidies, and other assistance. Read more about resources available for adoption. Let me see this one. Adoption assistance programs are designed to help parents afford the costs associated with raising eligible children and youth in foster care who have special needs. Benefits vary by state but commonly include monthly cash payments, medical assistance, and non-recurring adoption expenses, among others. What'd y'all get out of that? So they just get medical expenses and reimbursed for the adoption fees? That's what I got out of it. I don't know about monthly payments. Like here in the state of Virginia, and I've said this numerous times, and I know this for a fact, when you foster a kid, you get a monthly check. Crap, I dropped my ink pen. You get a monthly check, but you have to spend so much of it on the child, and you have to show receipts for it. And you have a caseworker that visits you about every month, sometimes twice a month. Stacey, damn, I should adopt 8. I wish if I was a millionaire, if I win this big lotto, I'll adopt some kids. Give them good homes. I would if I could. If poor parents aren't working here, get help from the state. Oh, really? They get help from the state? They should receive monthly payments. I say they receive something. I guarantee it. I just want to know their motives for adopting these 2 boys. Damn sure it wasn't love. Hell, they didn't even get out and search for them any. He drove around the block. He was gone about 4 or 5 minutes. That's it. She never came out of the house. Oh, goodness. Makes me sick. I'm actually getting sick at my stomach. I just don't understand it. Big, nice park like that outside the apartments, and the kids never go play there. She never walked her kids to the park to play. It's a good way to get out of the house. Crap, if I lived there, I'd be at that park all the time. Just sitting. Something's up with that. They kept those kids isolated away from everybody. More than likely because they were abusing them. The neighbor lady said those kids, even the previous foster kids, were isolated away. They had to sneak out, and they were scared of Trezell. So scared, they told their little neighbor friend not to knock on their door, to come to the window to talk to them. I wonder if police could interview those 2 little boys. I'd say they could if they really wanted to. They're old enough. I mean, if I was working on this case and I was a police officer, I'd be wanting to interview them. You know, if it wouldn't, bother the kids mentally, you know what I mean? Yeah, of course, I'd be wanting to see what it was like living in that home with Trezell and Jacqueline West. Everybody's thinking the same thing, even the neighbors. The neighbors at this apartment complex. You heard what that lady said. Her son is scared to even take out the trash, even with his dad and other brother outside. And the one day he did go outside, he ran smack dab into Trezell. And the little boy is scared of him. She seemed like she was very uncomfortable with Trezell and Jacqueline staying at that apartment. I believe she said she lived at a different unit than them, but she can still see that unit they're at. I think that these kids disappeared late September, sometime after the 23rd. She says she saw them on September 23rd. Probably 1st of October, sometime in October. I'd say they've been gone for a while. That's my opinion. I could be wrong. Christmas was coming up. They had no choice but to report them missing. People was going to be wanting to see them, asking about them. It's my opinion on it. And I'd say police are gathering evidence against them right now, and they will be arrested soon. I know AV Watchman said that the FBI took the neighbor's DVR that had the security footage on it. And I'm trying to get my ink pen. And with all the technology that the FBI has, they'll be able to make that security footage pretty clear and zoom in and things like that. I think CPS has got some questions to answer too. And they need to change some laws about adoption after the adoption's finalized. Like, nobody checks in on these kids. After they're adopted, the state, they wipe their hands clean of them. And that needs to change. Because a lot of the abuse goes on after the adoption is closed. After they have adopted the kids. Hey, there's some good adoptive parents in the world. There's bad ones too. Good foster parents. My aunt and uncle's good foster parents. They really are. There's good and bad biological parents too. Step parents. There's something really wrong. I do believe that the adoptive parents are involved. She never brought her ass out of the house to look for her missing 3 and 4-year-olds. Never once. We saw the neighbor's security footage. He didn't do much looking either. He piddled around his house a little bit. And then about 15 minutes later, he, gets in his vehicle. He's gone about a total of 4 minutes, comes back, gets out, stands in front of his house, and calls the cops. Did y'all hear in that neighbor's interview when she said the 2 little Hispanic boys that they used to foster used to sneak out, go out back, and play with sticks? Now, I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but Trezell said he was picking up sticks when the boys disappeared. I only talked with her on the phone with translator. I have an older half-sister. Oh, really, Miss Jones? Argentina? I'd like to go to Argentina. She didn't come out to look for the kids because they know where the kids are. They did something to those boys and stashed their bodies somewhere. That's what I think. I hope wherever they are, they're together. I hope and pray that they're safe, but I don't think so. It's coming up on a month now. It'll be a month in a few days that they've been missing. On the 21st. They disappeared December 21st. When is the 21st? Let me get my calendar out here. I'm wondering if the FBI's questioning them anymore. Oh, the 21st is Thursday. That makes 1 month they've been gone. Make a note of that. Look how long it took them to find Malia Davis, remember? It took them a while to find out where her body and stuff was at. It might take them a while, but they're going to figure out where the boys are, what happened to them. Hey, I'm wondering if they have anybody tailing him. Like, I wonder if they got any police officers watching him, staking him out. If I was a police officer, you know what I'd do? I'd put a GPS tracking device on his vehicle, see where all he goes. I don't know if they can legally do that or not, but that's what I would try to do. They said the FBI carried bags of evidence out of the house. Why isn't someone sharing that with the public? I don't know. I heard that they carried evidence out of the house. I don't think those boys were ever in that home. I think if they were really in the backyard, the dog would have picked up a scent. The canine dog, the tracker, didn't even pick up a scent of them. That's very alarming. It was very alarming when they just about automatically started digging in the backyard as if they thought the boys were dead. Didn't y'all think that was weird? They started digging up the backyard so quick. They weren't gone but what, a few days. I thought that was weird. And when they automatically took the other kids out of the house, I wonder if if those kids are still took from them. They said like that was protocol. Like I've read about other missing cases, kids disappear and they didn't take their siblings. They suspect something. Damn, I'd love to know what evidence they have on them. It's killing me. Like, why won't they just come out and give a press conference and tell the public just like a little bit? Didn't they pick up a scent in the house? I think they did pick up some kind of scent in the house, but you know what? That could have been because the boys had previously touched some item that they moved into the house, too. A quilt that hadn't been washed or something like that. I think it's very odd that they didn't pick up a scent outside. Of course, the boys could have moved to that house with the family. You know, they have, it seems like, a history of keeping their kids isolated. So that could explain why the neighbors didn't see them, but something happened to them inside that house. And then he came up with that story. I don't know. Have we seen pics? I've seen some pictures inside that house. Looks like a pretty nice little house inside. I saw some video. I believe it was on Plunder's channel. It's a nice little house inside. I'd definitely live there. I don't like the location, all that desert and stuff. I didn't see any freaking grass around. I like my grass and I'm a mountain girl. Oh, Southern Mom. Hey, hon, I didn't see you in here. Well, guys, I guess that's all the true crime I'm going to talk about this morning. I'm getting out of freaking breath. No, in this video, it looks like a video of a home that's staged to be sold. You know, that's up for sale. You know what I'm saying? Everything was all neat and tidy. It didn't look like any kids lived there. The realtor probably made that video before the house was sold, because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like it was staged for, you know, buyers to look at. But that was when lady was selling it. Yeah, I don't think that was their furniture. I've not seen inside the house since they've lived there. Let me put it that way. I know they dug up some concrete, but they should dig up, the rest of it. Maybe they just dug like what they thought looked like had been recently poured or something. Yeah, they should at least find out if any of that concrete was poured after they moved in. And that would be easy to do just by asking the previous homeowner. And now I think the previous owner said one of those doors on the outside gate closes automatically. If it's open and then it closes automatically, but the gate that they allegedly got out of doesn't do that. I did hear that. I really think that they should talk to some kids that the West had fostered before, if they can. They may not do that thinking it might psychologically damage the kid or something. I was thinking about that, but I don't see how that would. I think they should interview them to see if they abused them. Because it sounds like to me, those two little Hispanic boys were being abused by Trezell West and Jacqueline too. Sorry, guys, I had to cough. I've got the worst cough. I knew it was strange when I first saw their house and there was no kids' toys outside. I mean, you got a 3 and a 4-year-old. There should be all kinds of little riding toys and everything outside. Bye, Lisa. Have a good day. Yeah, I'm getting ready to get off here too. Mark's going to refill our propane tanks, and he's watching Mr. Smokey and Chloe for me while I was live streaming. I don't like leaving them by themselves while I'm back here live streaming. Sometimes they'll come back here, but I'm afraid Smokey will have a seizure on me. Anyways, guys, I will see y'all tomorrow. Hopefully we got an update on the West brothers. Hopefully there's an update on the missing mom from Texas, Laura Reed, a.k.a. Lacey Reed. I'll let y'all know if there is. Anyways, have a great day. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for your support. Be safe, be kind, and peace. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Same time, same place.